Do we, I don't know, we need an attorney for a workshop. Okay. We're gonna call to order our Penn City workshop on May 7th, 2024. The item I want to discuss is how we're going to go forward with the south of ID2 project. DNR has become a lot more willing to work with us. They're willing to, right now they're working on doing the cultural survey, which is a significant cost savings. They said there were 3 cultural significant sites. Oh, thank you. I am. Thank you.
I don't know. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So they're more than willing to come around and work somewhat with us.
We need to do roll call.
Roll call, yes.
Get that man in the agenda.
Councilwoman Wadsworth. Councilman Sandretto,
Here.
Councilman Reed,
Here.
Councilwoman Alcazar. Here. Councilman Valencia.
We're going to discuss south of 82, and if anybody has any questions, please interrupt. Because we've quite a progress and quite a movement on going forward and trying to figure out how we're going to make this happen. DNR has suggested that, we're doing a bond issue over there, which I've been dead opposed to, because it puts a liability on the city that we cannot handle. They've wanted to have us plotted out and lay out 20-acre lots to maximize their bidding process. And they wanted us to do that. City of Richland, around DNR ground next to Costco, ended up telling DNR they would not spend one more penny helping DNR develop that. And DNR is now plotting that ground out and getting it ready to take to auction. The challenge with across the south of 82 is the elevation and getting the infrastructure in. The infrastructure, probably the time you get the water tower on the hill, the line to the water tower, upgrade the sewer line coming from over there is only 8-inch, and the 8-inch is only sufficient for the commercial area. The sewer line needs to be significantly upgraded in size, and it needs to come to the plant. Alan has shared it's cheaper to extend that sewer line to our existing plant and put in a new aeration pond than to build a sewage processing system over there. Because the costs involved are so high in trying to explore options, I've reached out to Horton, who's the largest builder of homes in America. They're interested in the project. They're interested in working with us. I've shared with DNR that I've contacted Horton. Horton would either look at taking the whole project on as a single project for them, or partnering with one of their other companies they've partnered with in the past. And they're also willing to look at handling infrastructure of getting the water system in up to the top of the hill, the booster station in, doing the flooding and the roads and all of that. DNR need to finish the cultural survey so the SEPA is completed. And what else do we need to complete the SEPA, George, besides the cultural survey? Do we need to do the pygmy rabbit?
Yeah, the habitat.
Habitat,
Yeah,
okay, we have to do the habitat, yeah. And right now the DNR or the SEPA was rejected. And we're gonna get DNR to do that so it's not a burden on the city. And I don't know what the council's position is, working with Horton to have Horton take on this entire project and put it in, or if they wanna try to, go around where we put in the infrastructure ourselves and underwrite a bond issue, which I just have major emotions on because of the risks involved in that to the city. So I'm asking, does the council want to pursue with DNR if we do, pursue development with Barton? If so, DNR would want us to put together a proposal to them on how we're going to go forward with the development of it. And then they would work with Horton purchasing the ground. Dave, any comments?
I'm getting there. I don't have a dog in the fight of how we get there. I just want to get there as safely as we can without expending a lot of city resources. So if that's working with the developer, let's do that.
Okay,
Is that Horton Developments?
they're the largest housing builder in America.
So is it DR Horton?
Horton.
Okay, I was looking this up. That's why I asked.
And they're willing to look at putting the infrastructure in and getting the infrastructure in place to do the development. Before anything can really be done, we have to get the water line to the top of the hill, a booster in. Later things that can be done, Alan has said we will need to go a well over there eventually to have that backup water source for that area. And we're gonna have to upgrade that sewage line. It's 8 inches, so we're gonna have to upgrade that to a significantly larger size to bring it back across under the freeway, across the bridge and back to the sewage plant.
So if we have them do it, they assume any liability and cost as well.
Yes,
Whereas if we do it, we could be liable and it would cost us.
we don't know what the housing market's gonna be in 2 years.
Right.
You're looking at an 18-month to a 2-year development period to get it ready, probably. The risk of that is how do we cover bond payments during that period of time when we borrow the money? And then we have to be confident that the lots are gonna sell and it's gonna develop to recover our investment, which is a major risk.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
And I know it was my understanding previously that DNR was basically going to sell the land to the highest bidder and bid this out.
Mhm.
So your conversations with Horton Homes
And DNR.
and DNR, is there a surety from DNR that they would sell to Horton Homes or
Yeah,
what,
but
how
that's
is
the
that
only-
conversation
that's the
going?
only option on the table. They said they do not like working with Horton. Because Horton's a big boy, but they will do that.
Okay. So they would put it up for auction, and then if Horton
Right, Horton.
chooses to move
Yeah,
forward and purchase it at auction,
Right, right,
then-
however they want to do it. And it's gonna take the risk for a small builder to bid over there. If they've broken up in small parcels, is we're gonna have to assign. Either make the individual builders responsible to pull together to develop the infrastructure. Or underwrite it or do a bond issue with a lien, with a tied to the payments tied to their property. But then we're at risk because we don't know where the builder will be at over 18 months, 2 years. you know, where the market's gone. There are inherent risks in that for the city. The other question is, you know, I don't think the city has the financial wherewithal to get an underwriter to take on that project.
And in your conversations, I don't believe I heard you say, and for the sake of the council, what was the estimated cost then for to upgrade the infrastructure that the city would have to pay?
We're about 12 to 16 million. In that range.
And then you plan that you would get that back with the development, sale of the homes, the fees.
Integrated with the price of the lots.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, George.
Yeah, just one point of clarification. The DNR will only sell the property that's available for housing.
Correct.
Commercial and light industrial is.
They're retained.
lease. Right.
Everything. Their skin in the game is they want to lease that commercial ground. They're desperate to lease it. And unless the commercial development takes place, it inhibits their leasing ability. Once, they feel that once somebody steps in like Horton to take this project on and the word's out, that there are gonna be a number of people looking at their commercial ground to lease it. Any comments, Bill?
None yet.
That was quick.
So, I was gonna ask, so I'm still learning about a lot of things. So if we were to do bond, then who pays that? That would be the citizens? If we had to do a bond to finance,
Right.
the infrastructure, it
Citizens
would fall on the citizens. Okay,
Right.
of Benton City.
Fall on us
Okay,
Individually, ultimately, we're gonna be the guarantors of the bond. Do you have any comments on that, Alan, or any input?
I guess nothing more than what you guys brought up, but a bond would be sold. That'd be sold on the open market,
Right.
and so people would be buying bonds, and that would be used to invest
Mhm.
in the project. But then, if you don't get the return on your property, then you're stuck with the bonds,
okay.
you know.
And how much was that again? Of a bond? How much was the bond that you would need?
If we did it, we would be probably anytime we get everything together, initially probably somewhere about 12 million.
Okay,
And then some of the other is, as we go forward, and I think that's a number outside of the realm of the city. Our best case,
Mhm.
comparison, George has from Pendleton. What did it cost Pendleton to put that tower in, which is a very similar tower? And they put this in plus the lines of it. And that was how much, George?
Yes, when I was working over in Pendleton, just before I left, the city built a similar type of water conveyance system reservoir, an above ground reservoir for the airport, regional airport there. And it was approximately the same distance where you'd run the lines, and water requirements was 4 to 6 million just for the water system and the reservoir. And that was a couple of years ago, so with inflation and whatnot.
Right.
So there's still other costs beyond that for the sewer and whatnot, so.
So, we're probably with inflation on construction and figuring a 12-inch line going up there, and then we're the low side of about 12 million. Well, I'm gonna continue to work with Department and put together a plan to take Department, bring it to the council first and have the council review it. For the plan and take it to DNR. Okay. Awesome, thank you. Is there anything else we want to talk about? I don't know if this should take a long time to discuss.
I guess I can add to that and have a question for the council. Few council meetings ago, we had discussed the funding to extend water and sewer up Jacobs Road about 300 feet. Which was, I don't recall the exact cost. I apologize. I don't have that in front of me. However, in that meeting, we had also discussed taking that funding and transferring over and upgrading lift station 3 due to the issues that the city maintenance staff have. They're weekly having to pull the pump out of that and clean it out because of the collection of wipes and all of that. And I know there's a priority to develop that land over in the I-82 sub area. However, there is an immediate need now for that lift station 3 to be upgraded, which we could take those funds and transfer them over for that use. I know in speaking with maintenance, we've got their support in doing that for multiple reasons. And I was going to get a presentation together for next week, but I'll kind of discuss a few of them now and see how council feels or if they want more information. First item is the extension of the water and sewer utilities up to that area. 300 feet is a very small portion of the entire project. It would not keep a developer from moving and developing in that area because it's just such a small piece of it. I mean, you'd have to extend water and sewer up through the entire development. This is just running again 300 feet up Jacobs Road just to get water to a little bit of an area. The other things to consider are the labor that's being put into repairing lift station 3 on a weekly basis, the risk from pulling that pump out of there. It's got to be pulled out with a crane and it's hung on a chain. So there's a lot of risk there. Also, if we have those lines run at Jacobs Road and they just sit for years without development, then you've got more dead end lines that have to be maintained and flushed on a regular basis. So those are just some items for consideration for the council regarding that funding, that there definitely is a more immediate need to upgrade lift station 3. We're already working on doing an upgrade for lift station 5. So a lot of that would carry over. A lot of what we're doing, the same style of a system, and be much easier to be maintained and much less work on having to go in and clean that out on a regular basis, which would free up our much needed manpower for other services. So,
And lift station 3, that's the one down here on Dale?
yes,
From the fire
Yeah.
station.
yes, that's correct.
The other item with that too is the area extended over there is sufficient only for the commercial. And we're gonna have to really replace that line with a much larger line anyway. So even if we added 300 feet, we're still gonna be replacing it.
That's correct. So if we go in and put that in now, we'd have to go replace it in a few years.
I'm pretty sure at one of the meetings, and I think it was the last one, the council voted to do that and shift that money. I was the only dissenting vote against it.
I don't recall that. Boy, I hope you guys did. I'm spinning my wheels here.
You got your answer.
But I'll check the minutes from the last meeting, and if that's the case, then I'll move forward. If not, then you'll probably see a approval request coming through on the next council meeting.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Nathan.
Any other questions or comments on that? Thank you guys very much.
Nope.
Thank you, Dave. If there's no other business, I'm going to adjourn the workshop. We will reconvene at our council meeting at 7 o'clock.